Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
All right, Vikings Vent Line every weekend here on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. In fact, you are running out of time if you want to get on the offseason edition, that is, of Vikings Vent Line. We're about a month away from the regular season opener in Chicago, and when that happens, Mackie, Judd, and myself will be live immediately after the game, and we'll do that throughout the entire season too. But the off-season edition, I still like to bring on Vikings fans to get their thoughts on the upcoming year, the off-season. So if you'd like to be a part of this show, you can hit me up. It's vikingsventline@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you and book out one of these episodes here as we get closer to the start of the season. I still love doing this and having a blast. So if you'd like to be on a future episode, you can hit me up. It's vikingsventline@gmail.com. Ventline is powered by our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They do a great job with your HVAC work. The Twin Cities, it's finally cooler. It's been 95, 100, rainy, just couldn't even get some 70s. Now we finally are in some comfortable weather here. It's just a perfect time to book your next service with Standard Heating and Air. They're going to take care of you. You don't have to DIY this type of stuff. They run different type of specials too. You can join their Smart Club, which gives you discount on repairs. And when you book that service, and when they ask how'd you hear about Standard Heating, tell them I sent you, that Purple Daily sent you. They love to get that type of feedback too. So go to standardheating.com to book that next HVAC service. Let's get our guys Jeff and Matt in here on Vikings Vent Line. Matt, you said you pulled over the side of the road. You're on a road trip to Jersey. Is that what you said?
Yeah, about 2 hours away for some family time. Yeah.
Cool.
So,
And then,
so it's like 3.5 hour drive.
okay, that's not bad. And you said from Virginia. Where are you going from?
Alexandria, Virginia.
Okay. I always forget how close the East Coast is with one another. Because, like, to me, in Minnesota, a 3-hour drive, like, that's actually even a little bit past Duluth. Like, that's crazy to me. You can just go that far on the East Coast. But I'd love to hear, still, you're repping your Vikings shirt. Love that you're a Vikings fan out there, so appreciate that, man. And then Jeff, did you message me? Do I have this right? Are you in Colorado now? Is that where you are?
Yeah, that's right. Fort Collins, Colorado, a little north of Denver.
Okay. Did you grow up in Minnesota?
Yeah, I grew up in Eden Prairie, actually. Went to high school at Eden Prairie High School, and haven't been back there. My family still lives up there. I make it back to Minnesota all the time, but I've been in Colorado for a few years. I actually lived in hold your breath. I lived in Wisconsin for almost 10 years. So it's been a little bit all over, but Minnesota's still home for me.
And fighting the Packer fans in Wisconsin, still repping the Vikings. Did you switch allegiance too? I guess I shouldn't assume.
Not at all. No, in fact, I even got a Brett Favre Vikings jersey so that when we beat them at any given time, I could wear it around town and make people really upset. You
know, that's funny. I used to go and hang out in La Crosse, Wisconsin once upon a time, and I would go there after a Packers or a Vikings game, and just the look of scowls on people's faces if you walked in there with your purple Vikings jersey on after. It felt good. But you definitely were targeted and looked at a little differently in your local grocery store. Well, dudes, let's start off here because the Vikings training camp is underway. Matt, I'll kick it off to you here. The offense, I know it's only been a few practices, but a little bit of a slow start as they're getting acclimated. Are you concerned at all with the slow start, or is it just this is what practice and training camp is for, and they're going to iron out all these kinks throughout the summer?
I think it's camp. It's meant for this, so I think it's going to show JJ. It's going to have film for him for this. I think Brian Flores should even rush Kevin O'Connell too. Just rush everybody towards him. So he's got tape. I love it. And he loves it. He's going to learn from it. So I take nothing from it. So it's camp for a reason, I think so.
For sure. Jeff, how about you, man? Any concern, or is this also like a learning opportunity that Matt's kind of talking about?
Somewhere in between. I'm not worried yet. I think it's something you got to keep your eye on. Brian Flores is a lunatic in the best possible way with how he approaches these practices, obviously, and that's great training for JJ, obviously. But you also want to start to see rhythm. You want to see him have some successes. You want to start to learn week over week or day over day that show that he's learning from this experience and getting better, developing those rhythms. What I really want to see, and hopefully we start to see this, maybe it's in the preseason, is like what are the plays that he gets really comfortable with? Like the Pat Mahomes over the middle to Travis Kelce. What's going to be his go-to when it's 3rd and 6 in the fourth quarter with the game on the line? Can he develop some of those types of safety valves, so to speak? And if he can, I think we'll be in a good spot, even if he has some bumpy days early on here.
No, that's a good point. Number one, I do think it's a decent learning experience. Yeah, I would like to see some type of rhythm, consistency, probably before the Patriots obviously coming here in a couple weeks or when they have those joint practices. And yeah, what type of plays does he get comfortable with? We have to remember too, Darrisaw's just starting to mix in there. They don't have their full offensive line. We know Jefferson's sideline right now with the hamstring injury, so it's not like the offense has its full soldiers on the front lines like we are going to expect by week 1 when the season opens up in Chicago. But yeah, I mean, it's also, I guess, you can take the other side of this and say, well, if the defense is this badass and this confusing, like that's also going to be the bread and butter. We're all focusing on JJ. I guess, Matt, do you have like high expectations for the Vikings defense? You think there's even a new gear that they get to this year?
I feel like they're going to be close to 2017. I mean, because that defense was unstoppable. So I think they're on paper, they could be number 1. They could be the best defense. Because, well, actually, barring injuries, but I mean, I would love if they got Gilmore though back, just because of injury concerns, just to have him, sitting there as having a vet. But that's about it. That they filled out all the holes in the offseason. On paper, I mean, they look so good. It's just that's the bad part. They look so good, and then I feel so good about it, and then get let down. Typical Vikings fashion. So.
Oh man, yeah. Well, hopefully that's not the case. But the bones of this team do look pretty dang good, and it's going to be pretty exciting. Jeff, do you think the Vikings are good with that wide receiver room? I mean, let's hope JJ is all good. It's a hamstring. He's dealt with them before. Addison maybe facing and probably likely, not even maybe, likely facing a suspension. Keenan Allen, I think, is still out there. There's some names that are out there. Are you good with this wide receiver room, or do you want to see the Vikings maybe bring someone in?
Yeah, I think they should consider bringing somebody in, but I do think it should be a veteran. Like you tossed out Keenan Allen's name. I think that type of guy who's been around the block, he's been in multiple systems. I know he was kind of, not great. He was with Chicago, I think, last year. Wasn't super great, but he's also the kind of guy that, he's going to be able to jump in even with limited practice time. He'll know his routes. He'll be where he needs to be. And JJ can just trust that he doesn't have to have an entire training camp to get used to it. Because right now you've got, behind Jefferson and I'm blanking on their third, Naylor. You're looking at probably Rondale Moore or Ty Felton or maybe Lucky Jackson. And I would worry that to get those guys, for those guys to actually be productive, you'd probably have to get gimmicky and do some end arounds or do some wide receiver screens or just stuff that I don't think you really want to be getting that wild early on in the season with JJ in his first couple of starts. So that's why I'd go with more of like a seasoned veteran, even if it's only for a couple of weeks. And then when you get the full band back together, you're in a good spot. But if it doesn't happen, and as long as Jefferson is healthy, Hawkinson, is going to be going to have a nice year, and the offensive line, if they give them lots of protection, I think you'll be fine either way. But I probably would look for a vet.
Yeah, you got Amari Cooper out there, Matt. You got Gabe Davis, Keenan Allen, Tyler Boyd. I mean, there's some dudes here. I mean, some of them are a little longer in the tooth now. They might not be as quick and fast as they used to, but some decent guys. Do you want to see them bring anyone in, or are you good with the room that the Vikings have built here?
Oh no, I think they really do need somebody. I mean, if that suspension happens in the beginning, then maybe they can win some games with the light schedule. But if the suspension happens in the beefy part of the schedule, they definitely need somebody else. Because Ty Felton, I mean, we know nothing about him. So just by only camp, would you trust Naylor being wide receiver 2 and then Felton as 3? It just sounds weird to me.
Yeah.
I definitely would love. Yeah, you already named them. Keenan Allen or Amari Cooper. I mean, they're not divas. They can just go into an offense, especially Kevin O'Connell's offense, and just do their thing because they're vets. I think they should. If it's a 1-year veteran minimum, then all for it.
For sure.
I mean, what do they have to lose? So Definitely all for it.
Yeah, I think they could benefit from it. And yeah, to your point, heaven forbid that Jefferson injury does linger, or I mean, just if they lose him, let's just say they lost him for a portion of games. That's going to make life very difficult for the offense. So yeah, I think they could bring someone in, work them out, and if there's a fit there, you may as well see what you got. Matt, how many wins do you got for the Vikings this season? Where are you sitting at?
Well, any 10 or more, I'm happy. But
Okay.
if it's anything under 10, I'll be disappointed. Honestly, I think with Detroit, I saw their schedule. It is a gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
So I really think Vikings have a better chance to, get the number 1 seed this year because of just how bad they have to go through all these teams that Detroit does. And it's nice that they got destroyed on the Hall of Fame game, which was nice to see. So you guys saw.
What's interesting, and look, I think I hear Lions fans right now because I made this point a few months ago. Like, well, the Vikings are pretty much playing the same schedule, which is slightly true, but also you're playing first place schedules, and all of those tough games that do overlap that the Vikings and Lions both share on their schedule. The majority of those games, for the Vikings at least, are at home. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy beating Joe Burrow or beating Lamar Jackson. But you do have opportunities at home at US Bank Stadium where the Lions are going on the road for a lot of these tough games, which makes life very difficult in the NFL. You bring up a good point that even though the 8.5 numbers there, I do think they're going to hit the over on that. But anything less than 10 would probably be a disappointment. You're likely not as that last playoff seed. Maybe you do sneak in. But it probably would be a disappointment. I mean, Jeff, do you kind of fall in the same camp as Matt does?
Yeah, I have 10 also. I mean, when the line first came out at 8.5, I'm very high on JJ McCarthy. I think he's going to be a stud. So between that, the defense being awesome, which I totally agree with what Matt said earlier. I think and I live in Colorado where sports gambling is legal, so I'm banking literally on over 8.5. But my worry with the schedule is the home slate. I mean, you lose 2 home games because of Pittsburgh and Cleveland are overseas. I think we still win both of those, but then the rest of the games that are actually at home, you've got Cincinnati, Philadelphia, and Baltimore, and then Detroit. So it's kind of a tough home schedule, but I think they sweep the Bears. I think they split with Green Bay and Detroit. They win the 2 Europe games. They beat Atlanta in week 2, and then you just got to find 3 more wins out of Dallas and the Giants and Seattle. I think are winnable games, and then a couple more at home that are against tough opponents, but they're at home, so you never know. I've got them at 10 wins.
Yeah, and then it's gonna be a tough division. I know when Vikings fans seem to be pretty down on the Bears. I get it. The Packers, they will never give any of them credit. They could be the number 1 team in the NFL. I think the Vikings would still disrespect them. It's just in general, it's a very top heavy and deep division, probably maybe the deepest in all of football. So it probably is one of those ones that anyone who gets to 11 or 12 likely is going to run away with it because there's just going to be people beating up on each other. So I know it used to be called the black and blue division back in the day, and it does feel like that, even though it's a different style and brand of football. Matt, any other last takes, any other shout-outs here on Vikings Vent Line that you have in your bag?
Yeah, I'll say takes. I'll piggyback. The last month, Hawkinson's gonna have a huge year. I think it's gonna be probably his best he's had in his whole career. I really do. What's Hawkinson, 28 now? 28, 29? Yeah, so I think he's gonna have a huge year. That's it. I just think the defense is gonna be top 3 in sacks too. Yeah, I'm just ready. For it. Shout outs, I'll say shout out to my wife and kids for putting up with me on Sundays, yelling at Sam Darnold and Kirk Cousins for the last, almost decade. So it's been a while. Shout out to my mom. She became a huge fan during the Minneapolis Miracle. So that's when she started. So she's diehard. Sister became one last year, so she saw all the ups and downs as a Vikings fan. She saw sums up what being a Vikings fan is. Shout out to my dad. The only reason why I'm a Vikings fan, but as I got older and asked him, he said it's because he likes the color of the jerseys. So I would actually be an Eagles fan right now.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Because I know. So I grew up in Jersey, surrounded by Eagles fans. Moved to Virginia like 2 years ago. So Commanders fans and Eagles fans like night and day. It's like two
Wow.
different things.
Dang.
Uh,
Are you like watching Red Zone? Like how you watching? Or I mean, Sunday
I,
Ticket.
I had no, yeah, I had to pay for the YouTube
Mhm.
YouTube package. It was so to watch the games, but then I would say shout out. Yeah, I said to my sister Tiffany. Yeah, we're actually going to the Vikings Giants game in December too,
Cool.
which should be fun.
Yeah, man.
And then one more shout out to my cousin Wade. He's a Dolphins fan though, not a Vikings fan, but he's been with me throughout all this heartbreak. The Blair Wash kick and 38-7. You know what that means. I don't even have to say it. So he's gone through those with me. So just those are my shout outs. Yeah.
I like it. Jeff, how about you, man? Any other last takes, shout outs here on Vikings Vent Line?
It's going to be a fun season. I think, there's going to be learning curves. There's going to be learning moments for JJ because, I mean, you can't forget, I think he's 22 years old. He's going to be the youngest starter in the league. He's got the infrastructure around him. He's got, I think, one of the best coaches in the league. He's got a great weapons and a great offensive line, but he doesn't have experience. So, I think fans need to just go into the season with that expectation that there's going to be great weeks and some not so great weeks. But I also think the defense is going to be so good that I think we're still going to be one of the better, if not one of the best teams in the league. Because with our pass rush this year, with Dallas Turner, hopefully turning a corner and being a stud, in addition to Grenard and Van Ginkel and everybody, like I just can't wait to see what Brian Flores cooks up when he doesn't have to blitz that much.
Right.
I'm sure he still will blitz like crazy, but he'll do it a little more strategically as opposed to like Rambo going into the jungle, like crazy. So it's going to be fun. I can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see what he cooks up to. It should be an absolute blast. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on here, Vikings Vent Line. Great takes. Love the shout-outs. Appreciate you guys obviously listening to Purple Daily. And if anyone wants to come on a future episode, you can hit me up. It's VikingsVentLine@gmail.com. Would love to hear from you. Purple Daily, daily Vikings entertainment where we just want to see the Vikings win a Super Bowl before we die.